Welcome to the November 22nd meeting of the Rotary Club of Park Cities. Good afternoon. Nolan is at Disney World with his kids and grandkids, so you all are stuck with me today. If everyone would, I guess, do we have any new members here? If you're a new member, will you please rise? Okay. And we're going to be hearing from him a little later. If you want to take a few minutes just to rise and greet your neighbors at your table and the table next to you, say hello. Okay, if you'll return to your seats, we'll continue on with the meeting. Richard Stanford.
All right. All right. Well, let's start off while you're up. Do we have any concerns? Any concerns that need to be lifted up? Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a canned prayer because we have a college president here, and it is Thanksgiving time. This was the Thanksgiving prayer that the new president of Xavier University gave 2 or 3 years ago when she became president. I think it's profound and proper. So if you bow your heads. Loving God, we asked for strength, and you gave us difficulties to make us strong. We asked for wisdom, you gave us problems to solve. We asked for prosperity, you gave us purpose and brains to use. We asked for courage, you gave us fears to overcome. We asked for patience, and you gave us situations where we were forced to wait. We asked for love, and you gave us troubled people to help. We asked for justice, and you called us to be just and to lead with integrity. Lord, we have received nothing that we asked for or wanted, and yet we received everything that we needed. For this, Lord, give us thanks. Amen. Now let's join in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now it's our Happy Bucks time. So if you have a joy, a celebration that you'd like to share with us, raise your hand and Richard will come around.
Well, 10 years ago, my wife and I gave a I do to each other, and since then we started the happiest chapter of our life. And I have to say that today is the gladly day that we are in our 10th anniversary, so congratulations, Sunshine. You truly make me a better man.
Okay, thank you. And now we will go to the introduction of our guests. So if you have a guest that you would like to introduce, please stand.
Hi. Hi, guys. I brought a guest, Joanne. She's from my work at DocuNav in Frisco. So give her a warm welcome. We're happy to have her.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to invite or introduce my guest, Michelle Argueta. She actually came to the North Texas Food Bank service. You know, our packing day. She's my daughter's best friend. She goes, I want to be part of Rotary. So you all did a great job. Thank you for impressing Michelle, and she's coming back. So say hello to Michelle.
I had the pleasure to meeting during our greetings to Monty, who is actually the owner and founder of Lancaster Tire and Services. I'm glad that she came to the club so she can go ahead and do the wonderful things we do here and the volunteering opportunities that we have as well. Welcome, Monty.
And thank you for coming today. We always enjoy seeing new faces, and we hope to see you again. Kathy Wall, Marketplace Advertiser.
Cleve Clinton. You all know him. He's past. Oh, sorry about that. Past President Cleve Clinton is a board-certified civil trial attorney who represents families navigating business and generational transitions, risk-taking mavericks at the full-service law firm of Gray Reed in Dallas. Whether he's serving as lead counsel in one of the growing number of fiduciary litigation claims within family businesses or advising a family in transition, Cleve's focus is always the same: understanding and achieving the client's goals, either in or out of the courtroom. When a deal or a controversy requires multidisciplinary approach, Cleve assembles a team of Gray Reed lawyers and other professionals with a perfectly matched skill set, whether it's tax, employment, real estate, construction, or regulatory, and then quarterback strategic planning and tactical execution every step of the way. Cleve takes pride in striking the perfect balance between legal strategy and a customer's practical goals, all while minimizing family conflict. That means everybody gets along at Thanksgiving. Thank you, Cleve, on that. Cleve is also a regular contributor on the firm's blog, Tilting the Scales, so make sure to check that out on his website. And he's an AV-rated attorney, which is the highest rating in legal ability and ethical standards as we would expect from a dedicated Rotarian. Cleve has been instrumental in many club initiatives, including our Legacy of Leadership program, and he is a Paul Harris Fellow. We want to thank our Marketplace sponsor today, and that is Cleve Clinton.
We have a little bit of Rotary business to attend. This is our annual meeting in which we will vote on our slate of officers for the 2025-26 Rotary year. So I'll call our annual meeting to order, and I am going to read the slate of officers. So the president for the 2025 to 26 year is President-elect Sarah Oliai. She shall succeed to the presidency without further balloting after serving 1 year as president-elect if the motion passes. I'm going to read the proposed slate of officers, and if you're here, go ahead and please stand. So, President-elect Mark Kasher, Vice President Eric Harrison, Secretary Patty Schwab, Treasurer Paul Pyrock, Director 1, the second year of her term, Susan Harris, Director 2, the second year of his term, Sergio Pope, Director 3, Jill Jordan, Director at Large, Happy Franklin, Director 4, which is the second year, Van Oliver, Director 5, Herb Zeev, Director 6, which would be the second year of her term, Siobhan Abram, Director 7, going into his fourth year, Mark Neese. The immediate past president, of course, will be Nolan Duck. The Sergeant-at-Arms will be Jack Carpenter, and parliamentarian would be Richard Gilman. So do I have a motion to approve this slate of officers? Okay, and do I have a second? Everyone in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed? All right. And with that, the motion for the slate of officers for the 2025 to 2026 has passed. Thank you, everyone who's agreed to serve. And now we're going to call up Tom Bright. He's going to give us our new member speech. Welcome, Tom.
Well, thank you all. I'd like to say first thank you to Kathy Wall, who was the one who brought me out of retirement to join Rotary again, and I've been very appreciative of that, Kathy. And to all you members for just accepting me after my old age of being in Rotary now for 44 years. I didn't join early. I actually started through JC's, if any of you remember JC's from the old days, but I started through there, didn't join Rotary till I was 37. So a lot of people got earlier starts than I would have, but I didn't. So something about me, I was born in Western Canada in a place called Portage-la-Prairie. It's about the same far west as you are right here, right now. But the most interesting thing was, before I was a year old, my parents, my brother, my sister, my mother, my father, and all their worldly goods moved from Portage-la-Prairie to Ontario in a car. And I always pictured it when they told me, of course I didn't remember myself, I always pictured it as the Beverly Hillbillies going down the road. They had my chair sitting tied onto the front of the car. But anyway, we moved to a place called Galt, which no longer exists, so you won't be able to look up and see it on the map, but it's called Cambridge now. And Cambridge was where I went to school. I went to grade school to high school. Now, going into high school in Canada in those days, or in Ontario, you had to make a choice in grade 8 of where you were going to go in grade 9. And by where you want to go, I meant what course you wanted to be, whether you wanted to go into technical course or whether you wanted to go into the course that headed towards university, and there was a couple of other choices. If you chose the one that went to university, you had to go to grade 13. So who's ever heard of grade 13? But we had grade 13, and what it was a province-wide exams. We all wrote exactly the same exams. They all got marked together in one spot, and so that determined where you could go to school. Fortunately for me, I wanted to go to school to play basketball, so they took me at the school they were scouting me on, so that was fairly quick. I didn't have to make a choice. But believe it or not, I got a message pretty soon. At the end of my first week of school, of university, I broke my leg playing football, tibia and fibia, and that ended my basketball career. I was in a cast for over 6 months. And so I decided I probably should study a little, and I started to study some. And I managed to get into the business school at the University of Western Ontario, which is the finest one, of course, in Canada. Everybody would say that about their school, I'm sure, but it was for me. I managed to get through and had a major in marketing, so I was about to take a job with General Motors. And I was on my way. Actually, I'd gone to visit them for the last visit where they made the offer, but I didn't accept right at the moment. And when I was stopped to visit somebody else, a fellow that was a CPA talked me into taking a CPA. Now, that's quite a step for a guy who never took any accounting at all in school. So it was a 3-year course. I went to work for Pete Marwick Mitchell, which is now KPMG, I think it is. But I went to work for them, and I managed to pass it in 3 years, which was a miracle in itself. I always felt that I probably passed by 1 or 2 marks, but didn't matter. They didn't put that on your certificate. So off we went, and I had a nice career with them. I was the accounting expert, and I'll use that word loosely, on 2 royal commissions. Royal commissions are where the government sponsors an investigation into something, and you have to figure out what it was, and I won't bore you with the details, but I had 2 royal commissions, which was quite an adventure in itself. And the company decided to promote me heading towards the partnership. And I went home that night and talked it over with my wife and went back the next day and resigned. I had never had any intention of being an accountant, so I didn't want to get involved in something where I'd get so to the point where financially I would never be able to change jobs, so I decided that it was time to go on my own. And I went to work for a small Canadian company, which we very quickly got turned around. It was in bad shape, and I became president when I was 33. The company sold in 38 markets in the world. We sold products, and I'll just name 3 of them that might touch your heart a little bit. One was we developed a flooring system that for industrial floors that would increase the PSI of the floor from 3,000 PSI to 8,000. And that was a real hit around the world because people needed the extra strength, because if you think of in an automobile factory or that, they're always dropping their tools and cracking the floors, which causes all sorts of problems. So that was one of the things, and that was one of our big products we sold everywhere. We also developed a product to put into super flat floors. And super flat floors are needed because when you've got remote vehicles running around your place and going to a right spot to pick up the whatever it is, if that isn't absolutely spot on, it screws everything up, to put it lightly. The third one we developed was, are you waiting to slit my throat or something? The third one, you might want to have the second. The third one was we developed a hard white surfacing for maintenance hangers for airplanes. And you think, well, what do they want a white surface for? Well, it was very difficult to see under the airplanes when the maintenance people were working underneath. And what our white floor did was it bounced the light off that was coming from up above, up under the car, up under the things. Also, that was a pretty big, and one of the floors that we supplied the products for was for Air Force One. And so we've had a very interesting career at that. I sold that business in 1987 and moved this direction. Am I at 5 minutes yet? Uh-oh. Well, that's it. I've been here. I've been in Rotary for all that time. I bought a business down here. We kept it. We had a great time. We sold it right before the pandemic, like on January 16th of the 2020, and we kept that. In Rotary, every club I've been involved in, I joined in Canada in 1976, so every company, everyone I've been working in has been raising money. And we used to raise over $200,000 a year in our company, in the one in Canada. In the one here that I was in, I was started in downtown, which got me into RILA. So you've all heard of RILA. So I was one of the founders of RILA and actually chaired it for 3 years at the beginning, which got it off its way and turned into a wonderful program. I'm trying to think of what the other one was. Oh, well, anyway, we raised, I went to another Rotary club because that one was too big, and we started raising money in it, and we had a small project. We only had 30 members. We had a small project called A Taste for Dallas Sports, and that project in total raised about $250,000. So, pretty good. What I'll say is, thank you once again for accepting me. If you'd like to hear all the rest of the story, let me know. See, oh, and I apologize. I forgot my badge today.
Thank you, Tom. That's pretty cool how many people can say they helped manufacture something that's on Air Force One. Okay, Jill, and if we could then have Tom and Tanya all waiting in the wings.
All right, you know when I get up here to talk, it's going to be about the 4th of July parade, yay! So work has already started on this year's parade, and what I'm doing today is trying to recruit more people to help with this. Let me paint a picture for you. This last 4th of July, we started work at about 4:30 in the morning, and at 1:30 in the afternoon, we're packing away all the things into the shed. And I look around to see who all is there, and I realize the youngest person there helping to pack after the whole morning was 65 years old. And so it's time for the younger members and the new members to step up to the plate and learn how to run the parade. So we're looking for people who are interested in fundraising and other kinds of activities, including chairing the whole thing. So we want volunteers now so that you can see how the whole parade is produced. So if you are interested in doing a team leader position or running the parade itself, please see me or contact Alan. Thank you.
Okay, I've been told that I've got 5 minutes, but Tom, thanks for establishing that 5 minutes. Let me see. Okay, Thanksgiving's coming up, and I was all, I like a bit of history. I'm going, who were the Pilgrims? What's that all about? Well, let me tell you real quick. A group called the Puritans had broken away from the Church of England to purify their beliefs, and out of that group, a group called the Pilgrims broke away from them, and they wanted to start all over in the, quote, New World. And they commissioned Christopher Jones, captain of the Mayflower, to take them to the Hudson area, the future site of New York. The group sailed from Plymouth in 1620. On the way, the captain was bribed to continue his westerly journey, and they landed at Provincetown on Cape Cod Bay, and then they continued across the bay to Plymouth, Massachusetts. They landed there on December 16th, 1620, with 102 men, women, and children. By spring, pneumonia and a very difficult winter had cost the lives of 52 of the 102 immigrants. But in March, salvation came in the form of Indians who spoke English, who became loyal friends of the Pilgrims and helped them plant crops. History has no explanation how these Indians spoke English. In October 1621, the Pilgrims and Indians celebrated their very first harvest with a 3-day feast of turkey, venison, corn, and pumpkins. Thanksgiving was first officially celebrated in October 1864 during the Lincoln administration, and later became a national holiday by Franklin Roosevelt, and he moved the date to November. About Plymouth Rock, it was created, there's no recollection of Plymouth Rock, and it was created by some smart member of the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce about 100 years later.
Hello, Rotary. If I'm up here, y'all know it's about the tree lighting. And so next Sunday, I was just had a glance at the hub, and it actually says 2 o'clock. It actually is 3. We don't start until 3 o'clock. So sign-ups have already gone out. We have a handful of positions still open. The Boy Scouts have let me know that something has gone awry with the cotton candy machine. So that will not be a station this year, unfortunately. However, it's the Centennial, and we are burying the time capsule. We are expecting a huge turnout and a $38,000 Christmas tree that we are not paying for, thankfully. The city is writing that check. Can y'all hear me? Oh, do I need to scooch down? Okay, is that better? Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm like 6 feet tall. Okay. So we did have just a little bit of a hiccup in that our stage sponsor yesterday let us know that he is going to have to be out of town and is bailing. So if anybody knows of anyone who would like to write a $15,000 check, or I could really stretch and make $10,000 work, but $15,000 covers the entire stage, I would be eternally grateful. Other than that, we raised over $30,000, and we're looking forward to a huge event, and the Salvation Army will be there collecting gifts and ringing their bell, and this is a weird position to be in. Sorry. Like my thighs are like, I need to do more squats. Anyway, so any questions, please feel free to reach out and contact me. If you haven't signed up, please do so. We'll be handing out popcorn and water at our table like we do every year, and I think that's it. Am I missing anything? Good. Okay. Thanks, y'all.
All right, thank you, everyone. And just a couple of upcoming dates, just to run through them really quickly. On Saturday is the 11/23 is Scottish Rite popcorn packing at 8:30 a.m. As Tanya just mentions, the tree lighting from 3 to 7. And on Friday, the annual Chili Day at the Salvation Army. That's our next meeting, because next week we're not here because we're off for Thanksgiving, so don't show up next Friday. And then we have Friday, December 13th, the meeting, Dallas Career Institute. We'll have boxed lunches served for that meeting. And Saturday, December 14th, is the Angel Tree Distribution Day. And Friday, December the 20th, is the party at Mr. Rhodes' house. All right, and so we'll do the raffle. Kathy, do you have the raffle? Do we know what our total is?
Yes, we've got 967, and I have been doing this all after the Here we go. Let's see who's the winning.
The last 3 digits are 968. Do we have a winner? 968. All right, Herb, come on up. All right. Four spades. So that's his complimentary card that he gets to keep. And the chair of the day is Alicia Garcia. If you could please come up and introduce our speaker. Thank you.
I will be brief. It's a thrill for me to get to introduce the president of Dallas College Northlake. I first met Dr. Slejko when I came to Northlake in 2017. Her kindness and caring nature made me feel welcome right away, just as she does our graduates and our incoming freshmen every single year. During her 40 years of service in higher education, her dedication to students and her leadership to the many faculty, staff, and students through challenges in our regional economy, population, growth, changes in demographics, and even the pandemic so many other things that have happened within our organization have resulted in much success. Whether it's cheering on our baseball team or basketball team in their championship, during their games, putting on an apron and flipping pancakes at campus breakfast, supporting our many student organizations, or distributing meals at campus North Texas Food Bank distribution days. Her caring spirit and her giving nature have helped Northlake be a great school. And so now, without further ado, please help me welcome Dr. Christa Slejko, President of Dallas College Northlake.
Thank you, Elisa. I brought my timer up here with me. I know y'all are serious about time, which is good. That's a good skill. I'm so happy to be here with y'all today. What a treat. I know we've been trying to get this scheduled for several months. I'm glad we made it happen. It was so fun when I realized where we were going to meet, that we were going to be here at North Park and Maggiano's. I love Maggiano's, but I'm a Dallas girl, so I was raised kind of in this area, and we used to ride our bikes to North Park Mall years ago to, walk around the mall and have a snack. So yeah, I love coming to this part of the city. So I'll get started. I'm going to 2-minute video. stop right there. There you go. There's your 3-minute Dallas College presentation. But I am going to keep you for a little bit longer than that. So how many of you have had some experience with the Dallas College campus, yourself, a family member, kid? A lot of folks. That's wonderful. I've heard several of your stories as I was meeting you this morning, so I'm so glad to hear that. So I want to start with, like, the screens are so far away, kind of our situation, our why, what are we looking at in Dallas County? No matter what industry, what companies I'm talking to, talent is always the first thing that comes up. How are we going to attract the next generation of talent? What if we are in fields that, like biotech, people don't even really know what those jobs are, or there's great career paths in things like construction and transportation, and how do we attract students to that? So talent, so 50% of employers say that's their biggest problem. You'll also see about how much a post-secondary credential of some kind, whether that's a certificate, an industry recognized certificate, associate, bachelor's, beyond, but more than 2/3 of individuals are going to need something. And the living wage, only 1 in 4 individuals, young adults, are making a living wage. So that's the environment we find ourselves in. So just a quick snapshot of who Dallas College is. How many of you are surprised to know we have over 100,000 students? Is anybody surprised about that? Even at Northlake, and so we're one of 7 campuses. I'm at the Northlake campus in Irving, but often people are surprised. They say, how many students do you have there at Northlake? And I'll say, we have 13,000, 15,000 students just there. So it's surprising. And they're spread across, day classes, night classes, online classes, weekends. But our demographics look very much like Dallas County in the state of Texas, with almost half of our students being Hispanic, about 20% African American, 17% white, and then we have a great group of international students. Northlake is one of the largest number of international students find themselves at Northlake, and we love the diversity of our campus. We were talking about that today. Most of our students still declare that they are they seek to transfer, about 80%, although more and more are looking for kind of that 2-year, and let me try to get into a field, right to work. Our gender is, we're slightly more women. Our average age is about 24. It's been getting lower as we've had more dual credit students. So just a quick snapshot of, the dual credit presence we have. We have 30% of our students are dual credit or early college students, which is incredible. And for our early college, so dual credit is you can take any number of, you might just get 3, 6, 9, 12 hours that you take with you while you're in high school and you take it out with you. Early college is an opportunity where students can start in their 9th grade year, and by the time they graduate high school, they also have an associate degree. That's crazy, isn't it? You're going to see on this next slide that how many students are able to take advantage of that. And DISD is one of our greatest partners. We were talking about that, how DISD really jumped into that space, that opportunity to have early college. And that means like an associate degree, the same time you get your high school diploma, and no debt. No cost. That's crazy, right? So here's our latest statistics. You can see how many graduates, over 12,000. 20% of those are high school students. And it's really crazy because of the academic calendar. The students that are graduating, they come get their Dallas College associate degree. They have that graduation before their high school graduation. So you can imagine them and their families. It's a wonderful thing. I like to spotlight a few of the special kind of technical career programs that we have. Each campus has some specialty programs. Some are at multiple campuses. At my campus at Northlake, we have a comprehensive set of construction science programs. That's one of the things we're known for. Also video technology and nursing. But you'll see some other, our automotive. We are the #1 Ford asset program in the country. So the students that come, but we also have a Honda program, we have a GM program, and just as an example using that program, one of the commitments is that we need to get students into working in their field of choice quickly. So, you know, they're not working in, say, retail or fast food while they're going to school and then they're trying to get the job. So in our automotive programs, after the first semester, they get hired. And that's a commitment the faculty makes, is to make sure they have a job in their, at a dealership in an automotive situation in their first semester. My next door neighbor, their son, got in the program at Brookhaven, so the Brookhaven campus. And just about a month or two after he started, I saw this older BMW sitting out in front of their house. He'd gotten a job at BMW at the end of his first semester while he's still learning and had bought a used BMW. It's like, what a great opportunity. But anyway, just some others. We have, like I said, our nursing program. We've got kind of everything: culinary, hospitality, global trade. Did y'all know we have a culinary pastry institute at Webb's Chapel and 635, like right up the street? It's kind of it's our second location of our culinary programs, but it's in the old Cordon Bleu. If y'all remember, some of y'all been in the area for a long time. We took over that space and we do culinary programs that are very, very popular. One thing, did you know we had bachelor's degree programs? As a two-year college, we now have bachelor's degree programs. So this is a newer kind of evolution of our work, and it's very specific, the types of programs as a two-year school that we can move into in the bachelor's space. And so you have to have a high demand, high wage field that even with all of your university partners, you still can't meet demand. So that's why the first one we got was early childhood development, and that was at the request of our larger community and our ISDs saying with pre-K and full-day pre-K that started several years ago, they just didn't have enough teachers that were doing K through 3. So that was the first push. And when we go into that space, we have to get approval at the state level, and then we also have to get a special accreditation to do that program, those programs at the bachelor's level. But we're doing amazing work, graduates already in that program, and they go right into our ISDs. Most of them are doing their student teaching, and we do it in an apprenticeship model now, which they get paid while they're a student teacher, and then the ISDs pick them right up, so it's a wonderful partnership. Our newest one is nursing, that's just not even a year old yet, but it's an RN to BSN program. And then we have a software development bachelor's is our next one that's coming next fall. At the state level, we have approval for 2 more. So we'll be able to do up to 5 bachelor's programs. So if you can imagine, you know, the idea of a bachelor's degree at the same caliber as your local universities for $10,000. And if you have any grants or scholarships, or it's less than that, that's an amazing opportunity for bringing people. So, you know, we also have a very full experience for our students on campus. So it's not just going to school, going to work. We have honor societies. We have, I don't know if y'all know, but we participate at the NJCAA level sports. So we have 7 different sports, including esports teams now. And we have esports teams that are competing and doing well at the national level. As Elisa kind of alluded to, at Northlake, we're so proud. Our basketball team is the national champions this year, but this is like their 5th time to win it. But Dallas College sports at all of the campuses, just this year, we've had this in the last few months, we've got the men's soccer national championships at Richland, the women's soccer national championships at Brookhaven, women's volleyball at Eastfield. I mean, we compete. So, you know, athletes that are trying to make that leap, they want to keep playing, but they're not quite at university. Great opportunity. But just a lot of great opportunities for our students to enrich their experience. We also know that we learned many years ago that offering a great academic experience along with, you know, kind of help with finances was still not enough. Y'all heard the term wraparound services? Y'all have heard that term a lot. We use that term a lot. And it's just to say we know that we've got to take care of all of our students' needs, a holistic approach. So as you saw in the video, food pantries, emergency aid. One of the great things, I was talking to you about the foundation, our Dallas College Foundation. One of the greatest programs coming out of the pandemic was our emergency aid program. Because we knew sometimes what happens is like your car breaks down, or you lose your child care, or your job hours change, or your air conditioner at home goes out. So it's that one thing, but for a lot of our students, it's the one thing, and what do they have to give up? I'll just have to drop out this semester, I'll come back. So the emergency aid is a really quick, not a lot of strings attached. If you need a bill, a help, an intervention, you can get it quickly. It's not this long, protracted grant opportunity. I mean, a grant, or a loan situation. Also, lifelong learning. So this is, we've always talked to somebody also about, German classes, but having classes for our seniors, 55 and older. We've been revamping that as we came out of, being 7 accredited campuses to 1 Dallas college. And so we're standing those programs up at every campus, and it's, A to Z types of experiences, whether, like I said, it's language or arts or swimming or computers, but just wanted to make sure you knew about that. I'm going to skip this one and go to this one. Well, that one's easier to see. I wanted to quickly let y'all know kind of how we get funded. I don't know if you know, but local taxes is our greatest source of revenue. You'll see the giant green section there. State funding is only 17%. So when we think about, we're supported by the state, we are, but that percentage of our revenue is getting very small. If I took you back to like the 80s, you'd see this long trend line that looks like this, where almost 80% of our funding came from the state, and now we're down to 17. So we are so lucky that we live and work in an area that is thriving. Businesses are thriving, people are still moving in, which means our tax values are good. You'll see 20% of our tuition. So again, we're the second lowest tuition in the state of Texas, and Texas competes well nationally, so we're a very affordable option. But because of our healthy tax base, we don't have to pass on those costs to our students, and we can manage the reduced state contribution. Many states and many colleges across the United States, if you can imagine being in an area where you don't have a healthy tax base, when that green section goes, the other two have to make up the difference. So we're very, very fortunate. I don't know if you're aware, have you heard, any of y'all have heard of House Bill 8? Any of y'all that follow this higher ed funding, so you probably don't have to worry about that, but it's good news. So that 17%, we used to be funded on who came in the door. So if you have 10,000 students on the 12th day of class, here's how much you get. Well, over time, our legislator, our taxpayers have said, what's the value? That's great they're coming in the door, but what happens to them after they get here? Are they getting anywhere? Are they staying in school? Are they getting degrees? Are they transferring? So our 17% is now all outcomes based. And that was part of the House Bill 8 legislation that says you will earn your 17%. And so that's kind of a projection. You have to earn that based on, again, if students, we get credit for we get funding for dual credit students, for students to get like milestone hours, 15 hours, 30 hours, if they get any kind of award, a certificate, a degree, if they transfer. Coming down the pike is accountability for, do your students get employed later? The only reason we're not further along is that's hard to track, to get that once our students take off. It's like where they're working. But I mean, we're working hard to make sure that you get value and our students get value. I wanted to tell you a little bit about some work we're doing in the workforce. So we've always been involved with our business and industries and doing training or supporting their employment needs, but we're embarking on a new thing called industry sector partnerships. It's a national model, so we're not the first to use it, but we're following a model where we focus on particular sectors. So we'll have like the business finance sector, the construction sector, the manufacturing, the healthcare sector, IT, but we bring together key C-suite leaders in a single sector, and they drive the conversation. What's keeping you up at night? What are your biggest issues? What could you problem solve together? So at a table like this, all of you would be top leaders in, say, healthcare. And you come to the table quarterly and talk about shared problem solving. How can we help each other? And that's a little bit different because often you have to get past the, well, I'm also talking to my competition, kind of. But you get quickly that if we tackle these things together, we all rise. And then the other part of this model that's really cool, I'm going to show you, there's the sectors we're working on right now, is on the outside, we have an outside ring, and it's all of the public partners. So K-12, higher ed, chambers, like Texas Workforce, local Dallas Workforce Board, and they sit on the outside and listen only. They don't get to talk. So like I wouldn't get to talk when I go. But you have to listen, so when there are things that come around, they can look right back and say, we need your help, Chamber. We need your help, K-12. We need your help, Workforce Board. So we've just started this. We've launched 4 of our sectors. So we've launched in manufacturing, construction, logistics, and what's the other? Arts and entertainment. And we'll be launching the others. So we're very optimistic. We're working with Dallas Regional Chamber on that, and our businesses are very excited about the possibility of what we can do together with that. So I'm going to stop right there, and I think I'm doing pretty good. Oh, I have 18 seconds. But I did build in some time for questions. So if you...
We'll take the mic.
Okay.
So you can hear their questions. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Dr. Slejko, for coming, and congratulations on the dual credit program that you have, especially also the online program is outstanding. I speak by personal experience. My question is, I went to a healthcare conference last year, SMU Cox, and there were important companies there talking about how by 2030 there's going to be a shortage of 130,000 general doctors. And at the same time, in another conference, it was mentioned that AI in a space of economy, or economy of space, is going to be $1 trillion for the next 15 years. That's the value of it. We wouldn't have enough money on earth to go ahead and compete to that economy. My question to you is, in those dual credit that you have, do you already have that space economy in programs for shortages of what we have right now, like general doctors, police officers, teachers, and stuff like that?
Yes, we're doing a lot of that. We do have a public service and law, the School of Law and Public Service, so we have a police academy, we have a fire academy. I mean, we kind of have almost everything. For medical, like doctors, we have strong science programs, so we'll bring you in kind of in a pre-med track, so you get all your sciences and then help you transfer. But doing a lot in the nursing side, because they also say, I don't know what the statistics, so for however many doctors you need times whatever nurses. You know, we hear that, and you hear when we talk about aviation, they'll say, we need this many pilots, but for every pilot you need like 10 aviation techs, maintenance techs, and so that's really our niche. In fact, aviation maintenance technology is a brand new program that we're just starting, because we did a deep dive into aviation and aerospace and what's the greatest need, and obviously it is things like pilots and other more high profile, but when you really talk to like American, Southwest, some of the local airports, they're hurting for the techs. And again, that's a great example of, do our young folks even know what that career could look like? There's great money, there's good advancement, but they probably don't even think about that, because that's not the one your school counselors or your parents tell you about, right? So, I mean, in health, I would say it's like, we have all the allied health, rad tech, surgical tech, a lot of those support. So I think that's our niche with our.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm a former adjunct professor, so
Where?
At Eastfield.
Oh, awesome.
Now I'm in venture capital. I want to know what the percentage of adjunct professors to tenure track professors, and do you believe that hiring more tenure track professors would enhance the quality of education?
Wow, that's a tough one. Okay, so let me think if I can. We don't have tenure, so none of our faculty are tenured. Full-time, yes. So we're probably about 60-40 adjunct And I haven't looked at the numbers lately, but that's going to be close. So obviously more adjunct, because you saw the numbers of students, just the sheer volume of individuals that were, yes. I mean, it's going to vary location to location, but this is where our accrediting body, we're part of the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools called SACS, and you won't ever need to know this, but there are regional accrediting bodies, and SACS is often considered one of the toughest of the regional accrediting bodies. But they monitor things like what are your percentages and what are you doing to make sure that your adjuncts are providing the same level of rigor and engagement with students. I mean, obviously, I think we added almost 80 full-time faculty members in this current year we just started. And you know, there's obviously great value, but we love our adjuncts and we try to pour into them and make sure they have everything they need. And we're absolutely committed that you should have a great experience regardless. Was there anything behind that question? Any concern? A concern or? Yeah. Right. You know, we kind of get both of that, both of those. We have a lot of our adjuncts that have adjunct for years, and then they finally land a full-time, but they're willing to kind of hang on. But you know, one of the great benefits of our adjunct is we can get people from business and industry. You know, like people like yourselves who have careers, and you bring, you know, folks that come out straight out of industry bring perspectives that, you know, career faculty may not have in the same way. So sometimes that's a benefit as well.
All right, Marshall gets the last question.
Okay.
Great. First, thanks for speaking to us today very much.
Thank you.
It's very important. DCC is really important.
Thank you.
2 questions. What's this?
It's like a hot and cold pad. You know, you put it, it's in the freezer and it'll be cold. And so it's like a cold pack.
Or in a microwave to heat it?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a cold pack.
Okay.
It's just a cold pack.
All right. Minor question.
Well, it's a good thing I could answer the question about what I brought today.
My other question is the very strong burgeoning AI. Mm-hmm. Where is that going with Dallas Community Colleges?
So, yeah, that's a great question. We talk about it all the time now. So one thing I would say is, you know, when these trends start to grow, we have to double down and learn together. So we have to come together internally and start studying and learning and sending our instructors to training, taking ourselves to conferences or training so that we can get ready. But I would say the conversations that are happening now are, it's here, how do we work with students on how to responsibly and ethically use it in their learning, and kind of overcoming our instructors' fear of saying you can't use it, but it's like, how can you use it? You can use it in this way and then, you know, use it. So that was kind of our first hurdle, was getting faculty to start thinking about it as a tool so they could allow their students to use it, and then kind of that ethics around it. So spending a lot of time working on that. And she's walking up.
Did someone get a picture? Did everyone get a picture today? Thank you for joining us. A book will be placed in your honor at the Jack Lowe Senior Elementary School.
Thank you.
So, as a reminder, there's no meeting next week. Our next meeting is December the 6th at the Salvation Army, and now past President Richard Stanford will lead us in the 4-way test.
Yes, please stand and join me in the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
But what happened to the stage? What happened to the stage?
No idea. It's California.
Thank you, ladies.